Okay, so this was something we were about to create. So we'll create a new package and then we will extract that duplicate code. In programming word in IT sector, we call this boilerplate code. That means it's kind of duplicate and which keeps repeating. So that we have to see. But before that, I'll need to complete this update API first. Then we can resume working on that part. So I'm still expecting that you guys will do that. I'll do that behind the scene. I mean, when I will get time, I'll complete these APIs, get and delete because these are kind of super easy. Just repeat the same, it will work. But the way I will write the API update and then we will enhance it. So accordingly, you have to change in your code as well. In your code means the task APIs, task related APIs. I'll do that in manager and then you will do. Okay. So update is all about changing the user details. That manager in our case. So why it is not yes. Okay, it's this one. We'll discuss about this later. Okay, yeah, so we are going to discuss about this Postman update API. So update says we need to pass ID this time, and when we are updating manager, there's a high chance maybe user wants to update task as well. So we have to keep these two things, separate. So we have to understand first of all the functionality. Again, it's kind of a point of discussion. What else we can see about it? Okay, so when we say update manager, so if we talk about the API, how it looks like in terms of JSON format I'm talking about, not get the post, yeah, this one. So this is one request which can be seen as a request sent from to create the data. Okay, okay. So here, when user says the manager this time, if says okay, maybe I want to update email or age, or maybe I want to write a full name instead of just first name. It's not saying first name, it just says name. So that's my needs that I need a full name, first name and last name. There might be a chance that that particular manager also wants to update these sections as well. Okay, it's also possible. Just assume we have a UI where we are showing manager detail, and under that we also wants to show the task details. Task manager has to do the to-do task, and there we want to update it. So now it's totally up to the designing how we want to show that data to the user. What I can do, uh, let's assume this is our scenario or the screen. Okay, the web page. Let's suppose the first section will have all the manager detail. That means it will show name, age, email. Yeah, three concepts. And then after, maybe I'll put some buttons or something, or maybe I mean there are multiple ways to show the data. I can do one thing after that, just giving my view. What we can do, we can create one table here. Okay, there we will show title, then description, then status, then priority. Okay, so we can have these many columns in that table. So when this happens, when it goes from here to here, right? This can be also one scenario that we will show manager detail in one box, and when we click something, maybe a button or some kind of drag and drop something, which opens actually a new table, which might be already there. And right now I don't have any design idea. I'm just saying maybe I have a added button here. Okay, we have added button. When I click on added button, so it's totally up to us whether we want to use update this section or this section. And again, we have to decide. Team has to decide, okay, how we want to update it. When I click edit, so only this should get updated or this should also get updated. So that you have to decide. So what I want to make it simpler. Again, it's totally up to your approach. If I have to implement this kind of functionality, what I'll do, I will keep these things separate. So mapping will be easier, because why I'm saying this, we are already aware about the table structure. This manager already is there, task. So we have two different tables. First for manager, which has manager detail, no connection between task and manager. There's a task table which has all the details, which doesn't have anything about the stuffs we have about the manager. It's completely a standalone table, and this table manages the relationship. So at least if I do any change or edit on manager, it remains same. Likewise here. So why we're discussing? Because when we are going to update record, so through Postman, this becomes put, then URL remains same, and I need to send this whole data, right? So it's totally up to you. Again, the we are discussing on the approach. So I don't need to pass the whole object. Even if I just send user or manager related task, so I can keep only these three things. So it will remain different. And I have asked you already, guys, that you must create a different APIs just for tasks. So there you can write update task, and on the basis of that ID which you will have, you can send data for updation. So when we are going to update record, I don't need to send this whole record. Okay, I'll keep it separate. So when I say put managers, put request of managers, I will only send these three records. That's it. Okay, so that way code will be more simpler and kind of a modelized way. Okay, this is clear. Now let's go back to the project, and again I'll just open the view class because there we have to discuss. So I can send only the top four fields because it's put request. I can send ID in my request body, or it could be a part of my URL. Again, totally your approach where you want to go. I think I saw some in Vamsi machine. He was using ID in the parameter and then sending everything in request body. That could be a first approach. In my case, what I used to do, I keep send all records in the body. So my URL remains, you can say, in a symmetry. So all the endpoints which is used here, it just says manager, except where we are actually fetching the ID, user or manager on the basis of ID. Okay, so this is done. So first thing should be on service file here. So I'm talking about update manager. So it's not going to be void. It is going to be manager VO. And here I will also parse manager, but this has to be sent manager VO. Done. So first change is done. I'll copy it. For that I need to change in its IMPL file. It is giving error. Let's fix it. So I copy it and replace this section. And what happened? Okay, it starts return. Fine. This is done. Next, because I'm sending manager view, first I need to confirm whether that user is present or not. So I can copy this code, which takes the ID, checks if it is there or not. If it is not there, it throws manager ID not found, and the control will transfer from here. It won't go to the next line. So I'll copy these lines, paste it. So this section will manage whether manager there is not. I need to pass ID from manager view. So manager view dot get ID. Okay. Same way I can copy this code, copy it, done. Okay. So first portion is done. Next, if we found it, if we found that ID, then what should be the approach? So I can take this code. Okay, not all. I can copy it from here, copy it, going to paste after if block here. Everything is same. Once it's done, I'll go back to my post request, and then I just need this line, manager repository dot save. It doesn't have any update method. If you want to save, you can use save method. If you want to update, still you can use save method. It is done. So this will basically update the manager since we are passing ID in the request. Okay, so the ID is critical. Okay, done. Now we are not sending any ID yet. I need to do it here. So I'll say manager dot set ID, and I'll get that ID from manager view. Manager view dot get ID. Okay, done. So till now everything's fine. It will update the manager because we are passing. If ID is not there, it will create a new request. If ID is there, it will update. That's how the JPA implementations, or in simple terms, ORM works. If you pass ID, it will update. If you don't pass ID, it will create. Simple. Okay, and next part is I need to send this record in response because we are sending VO. In post, we were not doing that. Here it is. It was void. Fine. So it was clear when we create, we are not getting any response in our Postman. Blank response, and that's it. Now need to update that part. So we'll copy something from here. If we get it, so I can copy. So you guys can see I have written two endpoints, one for add manager, one next for get manager. So I took some code from here. I'm not taking task. As I said, this is my approach. So I want to keep it separate. For task related updates, it will happen in different endpoint. For manager, I'll update from here. So I'm not passing anything related to task in update. Just manager detail, and that will get saved. That's it. Okay. We will see will that impact our database or not. Okay. And how it will impact. So right now, this is my first approach. Since I'm learning, so this is the first approach. Okay, now once I have saved, I will get the data from response. So manager, you call this uh, updated manager. Okay, and equals code format done. Let me move it up. Okay. Now once we have updated manager, we have to fetch details from it and convert it to manager view because update manager returns view, not the entity, and this goes to controller does not entertain any entity as per MVC pattern. So I can copy this section, this much section. So I copy it, paste it. So this time updated manager will replace this, 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 and we already have it. So I'll say, let me rename it response manager view. Paste it, paste it, paste it. Okay. I messed up variables. Okay, fine. So I'm getting manager view, fetching ID from it, checking in database. If it is not there, it will throw exception. If it is there, it will go further, fetch all the details from. Oh, it's not here. My bad, I forgot. No object. It's actually going to be. Mm, okay, fine. Now this is fine because it's a update. So I'll get that manager. I think I can get it from here. One second. If I'm getting from the database, if it is already there, I can get it from directly. Yep. But what's the point? If it is there, I need to send the updated record, and this has the database record. Okay, this one. Uh, manager
Pankaj,
object.
manager Vivo is missing
Mhm.
in this line
Where? Line
81.
80.
It's manager Vivo dot get
Oh,
age, right?
correct. Right, right. My mistake. Fixed. And it's not age, it's ID. Okay, yeah, thanks. Uh, coming from DB. Okay, so why I'm not using this object? Because this has the database object, all the details in it. So I'll just use it till here. Then after whatever is coming from manager view, the updated one, I'll get it from there, ID, new detail, and all the details of manager. That will get further saved here. So this remains still the if block. Okay, this is done, and then we're returning from here the response manager view. This has all the details: ID, name, age, email, and for now, I'm not returning any task related stuff because we are not updating it. Even when we sent, it was okay. We are not sending it, but when we send, it will have only these details with the ID. We are not updating tasks, so when we are not sending it, don't expect any response. Okay, this is done. Now we can go back to this part. I can copy manager view. This is, and it's going to be update manager. It will take request body. Manager view has everything, and this time it's going to be update manager. Okay, manager view fetching everything from ID, name, email, age. Right. This is the object which gets initialized. Then ID set everything goes in save. We get from database updated manager. We are getting everything from it: ID, name, age, email, and then it gets saved to this one: ID, name, age, email. This goes null, and then this happens. Okay, nice. Let's see how it comes up. So only one application is open Eclipse. I can use this green button. Okay, so let it run. I'll copy this section, create new endpoint. We'll call this put request. This remains. Oops, my bad. Not here. Body raw JSON, and we need to also send ID colon. We just have one record for now. One record, comma, and need the endpoint. Here it goes. Okay, beautify. Let's verify we are getting exception. There is already one bean method. Oh, what's that? Oh, sorry. It's put. Okay, let's run the application again. Okay, updated. Now it's running. Fine. Let's try. We have a comma there. Remove that. No error. You can see, guys, Postman also good tool. It complains if you write something else. Okay, it gives you red. You can see red here and in the section as well. So always take care that you are not getting any red marking. Okay, sending the request. It says 200, and I think I'm not returning from database, and everything is same in database as well. Manager. Okay, need to stop the service. It's a void. Copy it, paste it, and here I'll just say return. Stop the service. Requesting again, and let's modify it. Let's say Rajkumar, age 50. We don't ever change the ID, okay? This is not something which you want to change because we are using Postman, so ID is visible that way. So if we have to test, you have to pass the ID. So don't write anything. If you change this one, that means you are talking about different record. So make sure that you are not changing ID. You are very particular which record is going to be updated. So I just change the name, age, and let's change the email as well. Okay, done. Application is also up. Let's send the request, and yep, I'm getting everything. Nice. Let's verify, and this is actually coming from database, so that means it is also updated. Let's execute the code, and yep, age 50, Rajkumar, and Rajkumar. Okay, so I can see update is working fine. Let me try one thing. I'm not sure, but let's see. What if I don't mark it explicitly null? Okay, we are sending it null this way. So if I don't do this, and everything's coming from database here, update manager, updated manager. So I'll do this and say get dot get tasks. Okay, what it is saying now. List of task view. Okay, now I'm just showing you what is the cause here. This is task views, sorry, set task views, and it takes list of task VO. Going back to MPL, what this returns? It returns list task. So both are different type. That means you have to run a for loop to get all the details from here, all the task details. A simple for loop like we did here. This time we are fetching from manager view. Here we have to fetch it from updated manager. So from database we are fetching list of tasks, and then we run a for loop, and then you can return it. But for now, as we are not entertaining task in our update case, so it is null. But if required, we can also do that. So that's why I'm explicitly writing null here. That's why I'm doing it. Okay, otherwise you have to run a for loop and everything if required. Okay, this is done. But again, if you notice now we have three APIs: post, get, and update. Add, get, and update. Now if you watch it closely, this is something we are doing it every time, right? Here we're getting from view, we're getting from task view, this we are getting from database, this is the one manager object, this has all the data, and here first we get from manager view all the IDs, then we get something, and then we are getting from database. Get. So this is kind of repetitive task, and just by look, having the number of lines, if you see we have almost reached 104, 106 lines, and still two endpoints are pending. Get all managers and delete. So it will go at approx, let's add 220. So 120 or 130 lines, and this has duplicate codes. So we need to extract this code, these lines of code, and put it somewhere. So let's create a new package. Now we are talking about this image. Okay, some XYZ class and fetch data from there to there. Okay, so this will be faster because we have everything in place. We just need to write it properly. So let's create a new package. We do have a util package yet? No. Okay, so root is not coming up. Right click on the root package, then new package. So root package is there, then write dot utils. So I'm creating a new package utils, and here I'll create a new Java class, and right now it's all about manager data converter. Okay, for now I'm calling it data converter. Done. Okay, now I need to create two methods. One will take VO class, one will take entity class. So I'll say public. I don't want to create its instance since it's going to be utility part. So I'll say static. So that method can be called directly with the class name. Public static. So I'll say to view. Okay. So when we say to view, it will return that to view here. So it is going to be manager view. If it is returning manager view, that means it is taking manager entity object. Done. Likewise, I'll create new class, sorry, new method. I'll call this to entity, and this time it will take view object, view, and it returns to entity means manager it will return. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. Now I'll go back to previous impl file. Let's work for let's see which code returns manager view. Manager view. Okay, here it is. So I need to get these details for now. Copy it. Going back here again, I'm not entertaining here tasks. So manager is here. It will get all these details, and once it is in, like initialize, I can say return manager view. Done. So one utility method is ready, which is all about manager, no sign of task. Once your code is done, the APIs are done in your task API, you have to create something like task data converter or something, give some name, and have these two methods. So that can be called on IMPL file. One line will call manager line, manager method. One line will call task converter. Okay. Now going back to IMPL, and this time I need entity, which I need to see which code is returning manager. So I can copy that code. Manager is happening here because this is setting everything here. So where it is setting, I'll copy that code and then paste it, and then I'll say return manager. Done. Let me make it capital O. Okay. So I hope this makes sense why I have created these two different methods. One will return view class, one will return entity class, and their types are different. Okay, once it's done, stop the service as well. We are doing multiple changes, so always stop the service. Okay, so let's try this out. Now, let's try with the get first, because that is simple. It's just about getting into records. So ID is here, it goes in database, do this part, fetches and check it is there or not. If it is there, so it get data from this object, it goes here, and then what we are expecting, manager view. So I need to call that method which returns manager view, this one, to view I need to call. Okay, fine. So I'll say once I have manager object ready, I'll write manager data converter, yeah, and dot to view, and here I'll pass manager object which we just get from database, and I can copy this line, put it here, equals, and then I can get rid of this line. Done. Code format, done. So you guys can see that number of lines are gone. Just one method is doing, and this is kind of a generic code. We are going to call this to view multiple times. So let's test this for get manager, then we will fix it for update and post. So running the application again. Tom get started. Great. Going to get request. ID is 1. Request sent. And yes, data is coming. Nice. So everything is working fine. Get API is working fine after just having this code. So let's quickly do the change on put request as well. So stop, or not put, yeah, put request. What is here? Let's small. Okay. So again, we will get manager view, get the ID. It is checked. Now I need a manager object so I can save it. Okay, great. So I will call. So I need method which returns entity. This time I'm going to use two entity, so I can get manager object. Fine. So going back here, I'll write manager data converter dot to entity. I'll pass view object. Fine, and it will give me this line. So I can do this. Okay, done. So that means these lines can be removed from here. Removed. So one line, and it will get the manager object can be instantiated. Great. So it's done. Next is database operation. It saves record. Actually, it updates because we are sending ID in it. Okay. So once we have updated manager, we're getting it. Now method says once everything is done, I need manager view. Okay. So manager view needs to view method. Fine. I'll go back and where my data is, I mean from where it is coming, updated manager. Fine. So after this line, I will write again manager data converter to view. That's a return type, and it takes updated manager, and I can copy this line from here, the left section of this line, copy it, and now I can get rid of all these lines. Now watch out what I just did. Okay, so you guys can see what I just did. I have changed everything. Just how many lines? 5-6 lines, and update is fixed. Okay, let's change check this as well. So Always do this in same pattern. Fix one API, then verify it. I can do everything in one flow and then I can test it, but I'm just teaching you how to start when you are learning something new. Don't do everything in one go and then just everything will get spill up. That why it's not running, why that is not working. Focus on one endpoint, fix it end to end, then jump to next endpoint. Okay, let's run the application. Something running already. Fine. Application executed. Okay, started. Going back. It is update record. So let's change the age only. Let's 22. Oh, I'm lock off. 22. Fine. Let's hit the request. Okay, it's working fine. Age is updated. Let's verify database. It's here. So update is also working fine. Nice. Let's fix the last one in the list. This one. So we are about to add a manager. So first thing is we are getting data from view, and ultimately database needs manager. Here, save. So need to first of all create manager object from view. So I can do this right here. Manager data converter to entity manager view takes and string. So I can get rid of these three lines. Gone. Okay, then it creates this. I don't have that converter yet for task class, so this code I cannot remove. It will remain as it is. That you guys have to fix. Then it will save. Saving this since ID is not passed with request. Okay, so it is done. Let's stop the service and verify endpoint for this. So once you guys will create something like this, like manager data converter, you might need to create task data converter, and then use that code on service file here. So this line of code, all these things can be replaced from that. So we will have just one line which says task data converter dot to entity, and task get initialized, and now all these 5 6 lines can be replaced by one line. So you can see it will be done again. Add method can be done in 5 or 6 line max. Okay, so changes are done. Let's run it. Okay, Tomcat started. Let's hit post request. Let's say Sam, and it's saying 21. Let's say approve uh, approve code for merging. Let's say okay, I'm going to merge this code to GitHub or somewhere, and let's change priority is false. It's not that required at all, and this is status is false. It is not done yet. Okay, that way. So save. Fine. So everything's intact, and let's hit the send button. Okay, it says 200. No response. We are not expecting anything in response. Let's check the Eclipse console. So we can see some insert queries are there. So no exception. Nice. Going to database. First check manager. Okay, I can see one more entry. Nice. Task. Let's run this code. So two more entries for this next person, the new manager, and I can see priority is 0 for approved code, and status is not done for this one. So 1 or 0. That's how it shows. In database, it is 1 0. 1 for true, 0 for false. And if we check this table, it will have two more entries. Oh, it is updated. Hmm. This is not good. Previous entry or previous thing is overlapped. Okay, I'll give this as a task. Try it out, guys. Why this happened? Try this out. So what exactly happened? Initially, it has manager records which has ID 1, ID manager 1 is mapped with 1 and 2. This was there in manager task. But when we created a new user, something bad happened. It removes the previous entry and creates a second entry. Let's do one more time. It I'm giving a new entry to see. To show you what exactly happened. So new entry is going to happen. Request sent. Going to database. So it will create one more entry in manager, right? Then task will have two more entries, 5 and 6. Fine. Now if I go back to manager task, oh, so what happened to ID1? This is great. Why that happened for that record? I think we did something about okay. I think it's a corner case. Okay, let's do one thing. Um, okay, I guess when we updated, that's what happened. Let's try to update the third ID. Okay, so I'm going to update ID3. Let's say Peter Parker, the full name. Parker dot Peter at this one. Okay, so that's my new email. So request sent. It is updated. Nice. So refresh. I can see record is updated. Email and full name is here. Nice. Is there any update on task table? Nothing. Both are still there. Now we have manager 2 and manager 3. Now I'm going to refresh or execute this code to see. Right. Yep, that's what happened, guys. When you try to update manager, reference from this third table is gone. Okay, I hope it is clear what just happened. So every time when you create a new manager and try to update, the third table record is going over. It is not coming. Kindly completely remove from the database entry, which is completely wrong. So you guys have to figure it out, and this can be also only figured out when you debug your code. So let's see who can figure out the solution. Why this happened? Why this issue is there? So what's the solution for it? Okay, but this is working fine. We just removed that boilerplate code, and now you can see it was earlier 102 lines, just 78. So just 78 lines, and API is working fine. Even these lines are required. If you remove this 5 or 6 lines, so 72 or something, 70 lines can be used to complete all these endpoints. So we just removed boilerplate code and moved it to a new class where this repetitive task is used. You guys have to do the same. Create a new class for task. Create same methods for that class. Make sure methods are static, and then use them in task service IMPL. And if required, do the same in manager class wherever it is happening. Like here it is used. So remove this code, replace it with that converter code, and do the same for get all, because here when we are getting all manager, that will come in an entity form, so you have to convert all those entity in views. So this is the place where you can also use manager data converter. Delete if required. You can also return the object, and it should not be void, so it should be always manager view for now. Same way in task you have to create task view. Okay, so let me write what task you guys have to do. Implement, oh, I'm typing. Implement the task data converter, add two methods. to view to entity have these two methods. So name should be clear what we are up to. Then next we have to uh, figure out the put request issue with manager uh, entity. Okay, so it is actually affecting the third table, manager task table. Previous mapping in is getting deleted. So figured out why and how it is happening. Um, yeah, third is obvious. Complete all task entity endpoints and two endpoints for manager entity. Okay, so get all managers that you have to do that, then delete manager, that one. Okay, so this is your task. Complete it. Use some reference wherever you can get and try to complete these tasks. Interesting would be to see how you guys can figure out why this is happening. Or is there a way? I'm not saying that you can even change the code as well if required. So let's see how many keywords you can try to fix this issue. So you can even change the code as well. Code means you can also change the mapping of entity classes as well. Okay, so figure this out and we will meet on Monday to see this issue. And in the meantime, I will also complete at least the endpoints and definitely I'll try from my side as well how to fix the second point. Okay, and let's see what comes up. Any question or doubt? We are done for today. Not much to discuss.